naturally in my face, but not too much in my face. Because at one point, I really wish I can afford those swivel arms, like Joe Rogan, where like it just kind of swivels right here, and you're like, yeah, blah blah blah, whatever. So
you will just give it some time, dude. Give it some time.
Everybody thinks I make money from the podcast. They're like, oh, you make money, and I'm like, no, I don't. I was like, I don't have a lot of followers, which is okay. I don't need a buttload of followers, and I don't have. I'm not like, I don't know. I'm not doing it for.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it definitely changes whenever money's involved.
Yeah,
content, all that. You'll notice when people create content before the money's involved, and then all of a sudden now they're getting paid for their content, and you start to see the content start to slowly change.
Yeah, and this quality doesn't necessarily go down, but the level of commitment that's behind it, that you see, because you can tell there's commitment and there's intention behind people who are like, oh man, I really want this to work. I want this to be good, versus someone who's like, oh yeah, look, we did a prank video, and it's like, oh yeah, you did what everybody else does. Congratulations.
You did what everybody else does. Let me fix it. There we go.
So I'm just like, I guess, to each his own,
Yes, sir.
But yeah, to that point though, I'll finish with this. I'm really sad that she won't fight for herself, but at the same time, it's not. It's not. It's because I just took a sip of that. It's not anybody else's job to fight for what she wants, other than her. Right, and she has to be the one fighting for it, and if she's the one fighting for it, to have people to have her back, then great, we can do that. But if you're not fighting for it, and you're just like, whatever, it is what it is, it's like, okay, well then, hey, it is what it is. Like, what I look like if I went to Sergeant Major and said, hey, she doesn't want this, she wants to do this, blase blase, and I changed that, and then next thing you know, Sergeant Major's like, he's like, hey, I hear you, I'm changing it, and you're like, why would you do that? I wanted to go there. Okay, but your body language, your demeanor, and everything said you didn't want to go there, and now all of a sudden you do. So no one wants to touch it, because if we intervene, it's like, oh, geez. But at the same time, I do agree with you that this all stemmed from a conversation that First Sergeant should have said, hey, wait, please pause. Let me confer with my battle buddy, who is the commander, and let me get back to you. How hard is it to say, let me get back to you on Friday?
It's not hard at all.
And then Sergeant Major was saying, like, well, if Sergeant Major, because I don't think he's this type of guy, but if he were to be like, you're the senior non-commissioned officer, you don't know how to make a decision, like, by yourself, then his responsibility should, like, correct.
Yeah.
Because I don't make decisions at the end of the day.
Exactly. And I've had to say this before in that seat. And it's also, too, you got to understand, Sergeant Major, we are the most rapid deployed element out of this battalion. Both sections go TDY and actually have ongoing rotational missions, plus the taskers that come down from South Carolina or South, which we have to separate manning for.
Yeah.
Sergeant Major. So yeah, I hope you factor that, unlike HHD and BCO and A.KA, which two of them have stabilized mission sets within the battalion. The other is on a tasker watch list. We have rotational task orders that are ongoing.
Like none of BCO and A.KA don't have to worry about some Chief Stowers coming down from upstairs saying,
they don't.
Hey man,
they don't got to
I need you to send an agent to fucking enter random BS country here in 3 days.
Yeah, we got a whole new last minute one tasker that came down today for Brazil.
And that's what I'm talking about.
And I'm like, dude, if we got to send two out there for Brazil, I'm like,
who are you going to send?
Exactly. I'm like, dude, no one can do any training in November. Like, we can't facilitate, like, I would say not even staff duty in November.
But then they're gonna be like, why don't we have anybody on staff duty? I don't care what blah blah. And then you hear and you're just like, because there's it's like inertia, right? One affects the other. If I say in September that you are going to fill every single tasker that comes down from the brigade, then in November and December, when you say, hey, why can't you do this? Why can't you participate in the turkey bowl? Why can't you do it in the Christmas party and all that? Why can't you do A, B, and C? It's because in September, you made a decision that you did not think about that would impact 2 to 3 months, even 6 months down the line. And now you're wondering, like, I don't understand how you can't, why things are where they are. Because you don't think about your decisions. You think about right now, and you say, right now we're good, and tomorrow hopefully we're good. And you don't think about 2 weeks to freaking 3 months down the line.
Damn, got him, coach.
And I'm just like, that's craziness. But
got him, coach.
I digress.
Oh well,
I'm very upset. I've been very upset all day.
I could tell, dude. I could tell.
Very upset all day, and like I said, I didn't want to seem like I was yelling at him, or like taking it out on him. But there was a lot that I wanted to say to him that I've been wanting to say to him.
Oh, dude, there's tension whenever you can just tell people like put on a mask, like it's like no one's their true authentic self when he walks in and engaging. I don't know how he doesn't pick up on that. Like I just don't know.
I told my wife, and I was talking to her. That's what took me so long to get here. And I was talking to her. I was telling her, I was like, he is one of those people. I was like, it's like he doesn't understand how to read body language or like read the room or anything. Agree. Because I was like, that's the
best way to put it.
It's craziness. I was like, no one. I don't know. I know very few people. I won't say no one. Very few people in the detachment that actually like him. Very few people in battalion actually like him. Very few people in brigade, because when he thinks or even in the 902nd, actually like him or want to deal with him. I was like, these people, it's weird. They don't want to deal with him. So what do? They entertain him and they say, "Yep, what's the quickest easy way to get out of here? Cool, I'm gonna entertain this conversation and be like, yeah, man, I'll mail you, call you, give me a couple days, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Oh, I just spoke to Mr. Such and Such, and he's gonna blah blah blah." And then 2 weeks go by, and you send an email like, "Hey, haven't heard from you, sir." And he's like, "Oh, hey, been busy. I went on leave, totally forgot about it." It's like, we're gonna get on it, and he's like, "I'm doing stuff, but you're not actually doing stuff because the people are just feeding you what you want to hear and then leaving." And it's like, bro, it's because I'm sorry, you burn bridges. And that's what you have done. And it's frustrating because you haven't burned bridges. I'm not the type of person who's like, who's going to hate anybody. I want everybody to get along. At the same time, I'm aware of the people that people don't like. And they're like, yeah, it is what it is. Damn, and I'm like, dude. You think everybody likes you? Sure, man. I think you're a cool dude at work, but don't ask me that. If you ask me to go hang out with you after work, I'd probably tell you no.
Yeah, there's good people and then there's good leaders. There's a difference. There is a difference, and it's hard to be both.
Well, very few people actually want to be leaders.
Yeah, but one thing I've learned too, the leaders that, when you're chasing a position, the ones who are eager and I want to be in that position. Is that recording? Yeah.
Oh, okay, dope. Sorry.
No, the ones who want to be in that position end up being the ones who aren't really fully qualified for the job. And I'm not saying all the time, but in my experience, it's always like the ones that are like, this is what I joined for. This is my purpose in life, and I'm going to do this. Hey, I need to be in this position. I volunteer. Whoa, dude, whoa. And then it's always somebody who doesn't even want the job, but they've had the time and service. They got the experience. They do the right thing all the time. No one's looking. They take care of their own individual team. They're not out there chasing awards, chasing attention.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're put in that spot and they do like an amazing job.
Yes. And when I say, I don't want to sound like I'm trying to fit the mold in what you're talking about, but I legitimately
Cobra of the quarter.
I legitimately don't want to be a first sergeant. I legitimately don't want to be.
And that's why I always tell you. That's why you need to be one.
I don't want to be the Cobra of the quarter. I don't want any of these things.
That's why you're going to be.
I don't want any of these things. What I want is to take. Didn't know you didn't.
I sent an email already.
No, you did. You're lying.
I did, dude.
That's so nuts.
Bro, who do you think is flying with the commander the whole week? I am. Trust me, it's going down.
You're gonna show her the podcast. You'll be like, "Hey, man."
I'm gonna do it all. I'm gonna do it all. I'm gonna do it all.
Oh my goodness!
Like and subscribe, man. Turn on that notification bell.
I see that you're done watching your movie. Have you thought about listening?
Hey, it would behoove you because you are mentioned on a few episodes. You might want to listen to them.
Oh man, I just like I don't want any of that stuff. Like I don't like all I want is to be able to take care of my family, and there are things that allow me to do that. And I want a cool job, but I also understand that what we do is just another MOS in the Army.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people get that in their minds. I'm like, yo, CI is another MOS in the Army.
Yeah.
If we were as special as everyone, as SciSac makes us out to believe,
Yeah, that's where
they would say, hey, here's your DD-214. You are officially part of this organization. You are affiliated with the military, but you're not affiliated with the military. You now have the authority to go do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you have to keep very quiet about what you do, and people can't know what you do at all times. Also, you wear civilians from this point on. You never have to put on a uniform. Right? We're not that organization, by the way. That's what I'm saying. We're not that. That's not what we do. That's not what they teach us.
Not even close.
Not even close. That being said, there are people who believe that we are that.
Yeah. I always tell them, they have to remember the mission special, not you.
Yes. Oh man,
and that's the best way to articulate it.
Oh my goodness, that is the best way I've ever heard that.
The mission is special, but not you.
Yes.
So understand that.
Because it's crazy. Guess what happens? You are only there for some time, and then they send in a less qualified person to fulfill that mission, and then that person does the same thing that you were doing, even though they weren't as good as you. They do the same thing that you did. Because guess what? The Army has processes for everything, and they say, hey, instead of trying to have people figure it out by themselves, guess what we're going to do? We're going to create a process for every single thing, every single task that you do for every single MOS, every single job, especially ours. And they say, hey, you're doing this. Well, here is from start A to Z how you do it. Go do it. And any person who has a brain cell and can read can do that.
So very true.
For the most part. There's other, I'm being facetious and I'm being obviously dramatic when I say that, but for the most part.
No, so very true. And that's something we're struggling with. No. One thing I wanted to dive into today is, I've been getting a lot of I wouldn't say requests or feedback, but more of just regular, random people hitting me up on the DMs, and asking questions, regarding the military. And of course on streams, I get a lot of people asking me questions on streams, and a lot of it is focused around the leadership. And that's kind of like what we're all about here. Comfort and chaos, guys. Thank you for tuning in. As always, I appreciate you guys. Got my main man side by side here, Mr. Q, Mediocre Dads.
Yes,
guys, links all down below, man. Make sure your love, show your support, team. But appreciate you guys.
Mediocre is a choice. Refuse to be mediocre. That's all I got. Go ahead.
There you go. But today I want to dive into a few topics, and I want to get your input,
Okay.
One of them being, so in the realm of leadership and being in the military, being a leader, you have to lead also in good times and bad.
Yep.
Okay. How do you handle a leader who cannot do that, who can only lead in the good times, but in the bad, they kind of tuck away?
So kind of like a coward.
Exactly.
Okay.
The C word, the coward.
Well, one, I use the word coward because I think that's the appropriate definition, or what you said, I think defines the word coward perfectly. But two, I will say when it comes to the word coward, very few people know if they're a coward or not. I think you find out if you're a coward or not when the bullets start flying and you find yourself in that moment where you could run, or you could sit here and be like, okay, I'm scared, I'm afraid, People are relying on me to make a decision, and I need to make a decision. Whatever that decision is, I have to live with it, and I have to be able to live with it. And obviously, this is all happening very quickly in your brain, and then boom, you act and you go, whatever the case might be. But if that's what you're referring to, the type of leadership who only acts, who's a coward and only likes to be a leader in the good times, well, they'll get exposed. They'll get exposed very quickly because, unfortunately, not necessarily unfortunately, but we're in the military, and so our profession, like what comes along with our profession, is war and bad things happening, which then means we have to be called to go in, whether that's to provide aid or support or whatever the case might be. So that's where the military as a corporation, if you will, the Army as a corporation, makes their money. So we make money off of war. So unfortunately, we stay in business as long as there's people in strife and chaos and they need support, the United States support to go out there. So I don't want to get off too far on a tangent. I want to answer your question, I promise. But eventually. Sorry, I've been listening to people talk all day, and it's very frustrating. But
by all means.
But I will say that how you handle those leaders is I think you allow people to fail, because in the military we don't allow people to fail.
No, exactly.
Think about it, right? So for your listeners, my listeners, right? Those who are not in the military and they work a 9-to-5 job, a genuine 9-to-5 job, and tomorrow they go to work and they say to their boss, "Hey, this sucks. I hate it here." And they go back to work. And then their boss 2 hours later says, "Hey, come see me in my office." And they say, "Hey, man, here's your termination. Unfortunately, I don't think you're a good fit for what we're looking for right now. You have a good day." And they fire them because they're not a genuine good fit and they don't want to be there. The military, we are bound by a contract. So we cannot get fired. So even when you have shitty people in your organization, you can't do anything with them except move them to another part of the company and hope they thrive, or they find their cojones, if you will, to want to be there and want to do what the organization is demanding of them.
So do you think if there was the ability to fire 100%. A soldier, it would change the whole outlook 100%. And their whole performance?
100%, because you would have people who want to be here.
Exactly.
I told Zach today as we were leaving work, I said, one of the frustrating things for me is I wish I didn't care, or I wish I had the ability not to care as much as other people do. And the one individual in my office who's getting out, I won't name him, but he genuinely doesn't care about a lot of things that go on.
Nope.
And you can see he doesn't care. He goes like, "You mean like him?" I was like, "Yes, I wish I had the ability not to care like he does about a lot of things that are going on." But as unfortunately, I'm not that's not who I am. They are paying me to do a certain job. With that job there's a spider web of things that I'm obligated to do and I must do within that position. And so I have to care about a lot of things. But my biggest thing is they're paying me to do that. So why would I just be like, "I don't care. If it fails, it fails. It is what it is"? No. You're paying me to be here. Paying me to do a job. I'm going to do the job in what you're paying me for. That's absurd to me to just be like, "I'm just here to collect a paycheck and it is what it is." No, I'm here to collect a paycheck 100% for my family. But I also know that if I half-ass what I'm doing and I lose this, because I mean, as we all know, I've lost before, and so if I lose that and put that in jeopardy, what is my family going to think of me? Why would they stick around with somebody who is not reliable? But but a lot of people don't have anybody relying on them, so they're just kind of like, "It is what it is. I don't care letting myself down."
Damn.
So,
okay,
that's my input. I don't know if I hope I answered your question. I know I go on a long tangents and spiels.
Okay, so I'll ask you straight up, and I'm sure some of the viewers too would want to know. So how do you deal with a leader who's in charge of you, who obviously only shows up when things are going good, but then just kind of bounces back and lets you guys fall on your own swords when things are going bad?
I don't take him serious. Him or her, I don't take him serious.
Okay.
I have had leaders like that, and I don't take them seriously. They
now
will,
being in the military though, how do you? Because obviously you still got to maintain composure, maintain
sure.
military discipline.
Good morning, Sergeant. How you doing? Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. But I don't take them seriously.
Okay.
I give them the facade that I'm taking them serious, but I don't take them serious. And so when someone
facade.
yeah, I mean, like it's part of playing the game, you know.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you mean.
And so when people will come into the office and they'll say, and they'll want something from me, and I put on the facade that I genuinely care what they have to say.
I've noticed.
But the moment they leave, I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna make you believe that you are
100%. You matter. Everything. The world's about to stop, and I'm here for you.
Yeah, and
I got nothing else to do with my day except sit here and wait for you.
Yeah,
this moment.
Exactly.
This was my purpose in life.
You know, I'll say this again to the individual in my office. I do it most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I'm just like, yeah, but everything's funny. We're doing a good time. And then, you know, that time comes around when the end of the day's rolling around. He's like, hey, do you need anything from me? Nah, man, good go.
Nah.
He asked me, you know what he asked me today?
Oh, jeez.
He goes, hey, do you need anything from me? And I was like, no, I don't. Good to go. And this is right after the meeting. And I'm mentally drained. I just opened up my computer. Yeah. I don't know what I need right now. And this individual asked me like, oh, well, hey, I want to help you. So you're not here till, 5:30 or whatever the case might be. In the back of my mind, I was like, there's nothing you can do that's going to prevent me or stop me from being up to 5:30, because ultimately every time I ask you to do something, you half-ass it anyway. So why would I give you something, an important task, when I know you're going to half-ass it? So therefore, no, I don't need anything from you.
Yeah.
You just go do what you want to do, and like, it's cool with that. I've already accepted that you are getting out. You don't want to be here. That's okay. But do not expect me to give you important tasks and take you seriously when you say, hey, I'm ready to work, when I know that's not the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, no. But anyway, to dealing with the leader, no, I don't take him seriously.
Okay.
And I just kind of, I position myself with people, or align myself with people who are in charge, if you will. Because I've never had to deal with a person that was like that was necessarily like the number one boss. But like my commander, for example, like I lied. I had one commander like that. And so being enlisted, I knew I didn't have to go to that individual. So I would just go to the first sergeant. I would go to the platoon sergeant. I would go to the other platoon sergeant, the human platoon sergeant.
I got you.
Hey, like, I need to do A, B, and C. How are we going to accomplish that? They were like, what with the commander? I was like, the commander is useless for us. So like, regardless of what the commander says, yay, nay, whatever, they're useless. So we as the doers have to figure it out, and we have to do it.
Yeah.
And we don't involve them, because at the end of the day, when we don't involve them because they don't want to be involved, guess what? When we succeed, guess what they're going to do?
Yeah.
They're going to go sit in that meeting. They're going to be like, yep, me, I did this, I did that, and I am good. Look at me and my company. We did that.
Yeah.
We didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. It was we, the doers, who did it for you.
There are those out there. There's those individuals who will basically be there to take the credit for themselves.
Yeah.
And they're there for what I call the good times. They're there to lead in the good times. Be there. Oh, hey, if some higher ups are coming down to acknowledge some hard work that some individuals, now all of a sudden they're there and they're present, and oh yeah, we've been working and we've been training and getting them ready, and appreciate you coming down.
Haven't done a single thing for me.
And it's like, dude, you weren't even here.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't supporting nothing.
No.
We were alone. We made this shit happen.
It's kind of like
your support.
It's kind of like, think about World War I. After, you take over one trench, And this general comes along in his clean uniform and says, gosh dang, without you boys, we wouldn't be able to do this. But I'm glad that we were able to accomplish this mission. And I can go tell, leadership that we are working hard and we're kicking ass and taking names right now.
Yeah.
But hey, go take that next trench while I go back.
Okay.
Go hang out. And you're just like, wait, you just got done saying we. If it's a we thing, come get trench foot. Go and get your goofy ass in this freaking trench. Get your uniform dirty. And don't come talk to me about we.
Yeah.
And then act like, hey, we got another one to go. Just one more to go. And then you roll out. As soon as the fire starts, you roll out.
Yeah.
That to me is what it's like.
Damn. Yeah, it's so true, man. It's so true. And I know a lot of people, they reach out to me and ask me on stream some of those questions, man. And I get a lot of that stuff. But well,
what would you do though? Like, what do you do? Because you have more experience in the military than I do. So what do you do? Especially you being a senior leader. If you have a senior leader or someone superior to you, or not superior, but above you, what do you do?
So I've had supervisors, who, OICs and supervisors who were basically there to take the credit and applaud and they were basically present only when things are going well.
Yeah.
When the good things are coming, good things, good celebrations, acknowledgement,
yep.
They're there. And then when shit hits the fan, and it doesn't, and for the record, team, it doesn't always have to be combat. It's not everything's related to combat. When I say like shit hits the fan, I mean taskers are coming down, details, special missions and mission requests are coming down, and the team's starting to get really saturated, and where you're focusing energy on one thing, something else that's supposed to be done is starting to slowly deplete, and now there's recognition going over there in a negative way. So now someone has to go in there and intervene and take that credit. So somebody, a leader, has to come over here and make those decisions and manage it. And that's what I mean when stuff's not going well.
I use combat only just because it's an easy example for people to understand.
Don't get us wrong. It is easier. And I'm sure a lot of you guys probably face the same thing, even in the employment civilian sector. You're going to have managers who are there in the good time. You're going to have bosses who are there in the good times, and then they just disappear, especially like in the restaurant business. I remember I worked in the restaurant business coming up, and managers, I mean, they need to be there,
Mm-hmm.
And then when it gets busy and there's food coming back and complaints here, and servers are like not knowing what to do, and they're looking for guidance and all this stuff, and they need a discount here and those managers can't handle it. They just disappear.
Mm-hmm.
But then when the big wigs come in to acknowledge, hey, this place is doing really good, you guys are making a lot of money, and doing really well, we're getting a lot of feedback, there they are, shaking hands, taking the pictures. Oh yeah, my staff, we're doing good. You
remember that show, I don't remember what it was called, but it was kind of like he goes around and he evaluates bars, and then
oh yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? He evaluates bars, and then
I like that show too. It's John Taffer or whatever his name is, or something like that.
Yeah, and he's just basically like, he sits there and for a while, and he just asks for a drink, and he asks for some food, and then he watches how everybody.
It's Bar Rescue.
Bar Rescue, yeah,
dude, I love that show.
And that's exactly what it reminds me of.
He goes in there, just start throwing stuff around, and making people cry.
And there's people who think that they're like, hey man, I'm the real top G around here, and then he comes back to the kitchen. He's like, he starts throwing their shit, and he's like, oh, first off, I don't know who you think you're yelling at, but I can tell you right now, you're not gonna win that. But that's what it reminds me a lot of. It's like when in those situations where you have these two employees who are busting their ass to do the right thing for this bar, and then you have the manager who's sitting there at the tap getting drunk. But they're like,
I've seen that.
The manager or the owner, they're like, but this is my bar. And it's like, sure, man, but you made this bar to make money.
Business.
Not to drink your own, you know what I'm saying? That's like a drug dealer.
Your own supply.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You don't get high on your own supply. You're over here getting drunk off your own supply, man. Like, what? That's money.
Yeah.
And while you're paying for it, the business is paying for it, and you're like, yeah, man. But anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue.
No, hey guys, I'm pretty sure you noticed that happens a lot. We apologize, but sometimes we get into it. Okay, you got 2 military leaders here. All right, but to answer your question, man, I got 2 different answers. One from 2 different positions because I've been on both. The first one being the ground trooper. You know, that ground trooper who doesn't have that influence and just takes the orders and goes.
Yeah.
In that sense, I was always just the type that, hey, I got to do my job and I'm going to do it well. You know, I'm going to do what it's told. You know, I came up with the whole saying from World War II, not to reason why, but to do or die. You know, that was the saying in the Army back then, where your job wasn't to, you know, reason and ask why. It was just to do, you know. And so I would do, you know, but I would also take note. I would take a mental note or some type of note of everything I'm doing, because I know eventually there's going to be an award. There's going to be some type of recognition that I can push up, you know, to my leadership, you know. Now, the toughest would be being the middle leader, you know, being that I would say the platoon sergeant level or the first sergeant level, or being that leader who is the middle, who has to take those commands and has to make your OIC look good, make that superior look good, but then has to take that word and pass it down. When they see it, and you're getting both the gripes coming up, and you're also getting some of those gripes are coming down. Yeah, and you're that middle. So the toughest is being in that position, but not impossible. A lot of it is, I just tell them, hey, I will recognize your guys' work, you know, but I'm also here to provide you that purpose, direction, and motivation. Right. You know, regardless. But know this, that we're gonna embrace it together. You know, I'm not doing it because and that's the whole point. I can't be the same reflection of that superior, because then that's when it gets toxic. So, hey, I'm going to be here. You know, if we're going to go do some training out in the field, I'm going to be out there with you guys. You know, I'm going to do it. And then when you guys are going to go out and participate in some exercises, even though I'm not supposed to, I'm not on the record to be there, but guess what? I'm going to be there to make sure you guys are treated well, you're taken care of, you're living, everything's taken care of. You know, granted, I'm not doing it for the credit. You know, I could care less. And I know who's going to get the credit. Yeah. Someone who's not even been present. Yeah. But I have to be that example, you know, to let them know, hey, you're going to have leaders like that. You're going to.
So y'all just did the Olympics, right? Yeah. And at the previous one, when I was in Fort Bragg, yeah, my unit organized the Olympics. Oh, no shit. Okay. Yeah. So I wasn't present because it wasn't for
I saw their con op. They basically took their con op and just kind of revised it for this one.
What a crazy thing, huh?
So all the pictures were from over there.
Yep. So then you know, when it's all said and done, everything's all done, and I'm sure you experienced this when your Olympics was done. So we all had to show up to this event, right? To this ending event, and we're standing there and are sitting in seats, and all these VIPs are there. Oh yeah, and people that were not there during the decision making process. They were just sitting in their ivory towers, if you will. Oh, dude! And we're like, "Hey, where's the status of this?" And we're doing this, and blah blah blah. And they had 1 or 2 phone calls, and then next thing I know, that when they're thanking people, you have these 4 individuals standing on the podium talking about how like they're getting grace, or they're receiving praise from this commander. They're like, yeah, without these individuals, this wouldn't be possible, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I haven't seen or met those individuals not a single time during the process of us doing this, or of my guys, or these guys doing this. I know one individual who was doing all of it, planning and doing it. Him and me are the same rank. Planning and doing it, and he didn't get praise a single time. It would not have gone. You guys wouldn't have had or not you guys, but they wouldn't have the ranges and all these other things if he had done the planning and done the things that were required to get those set up.
Yeah.
But he didn't receive praise. Why? Because he's just a staff sergeant in the Army. However, that CW3 through CW5, who happens to fit, who happens to be in happens to have, had one or two phone calls about this, they received all the praise. They're like, we just want to thank you for without you guys. And one of these individuals was all the way from INSCOM. And it's like, yeah, sure, they had a role into it, but not as important role as you think they do.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, the recognition does not need to be those people. You don't need to recognize those people. You say, hey, these are these individuals did some great things for us to help us get to where we are. Mm-hmm. And I think that's it. And you kind of shake their hand. But what you then do is you say, hey, everyone in the stands who participated or who are those who didn't participate but definitely helped facilitate make this happen, stand up. All right. Yeah. These are the people who we need to be thanking. These are the people that without them, none of this would have been possible. And now we can't recognize every single one of them, which you could. I mean, I don't know. But, we can't recognize every single one of them. I want everyone here to recognize them now because these are the important people. Not these people standing up here. Not these people who are the policymakers, decision makers. No. They're always going to have a job. They're always going to have a role. But these people right here, the doers, the ones who did it, they're the ones who need to be thanked. And that to me is what it's all about.
Yeah, no, I agree, dude.
Doing it.
I totally agree.
I'm sorry, I went on another tangent. But
no, dude, that's perfect because that leads me into like my rent, and I always have something to say,
Yeah.
But the biggest one is we have slowly dwindled back from the fact that leaders no longer. It's they got to understand that as a leader, your resume is who you're leading.
Yes.
Like that's your eval. Like that is your eval. So who you're leading, their successes are your success. Their failures are your failures. And you have to take that ownership, man. And we've dwindled from that fact that now you got senior leaders, they don't even care. Like it's all about how good they look. What's the perception of them to their superiors. And that's it. So they will go over there and they will say, yes, 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 not even knowing their team or the saturation or the energy and the effort that's going to be executed on that team level because they're the ones out there. They're the boots on the ground. And we have slowly pulled back from no longer those boots on ground. That should be your resume. And so that is mine, and I'll forever continue to lead that way, no matter what position I ever get and however far I elevate in the Army. But I will always stay true to that concept, and even commanders need to know that, hey, your company, your troop, their successes and their accomplishments, that's you. That's a reflection of you. Your job is to command and control. That is you.
Yeah.
So that should be your concern. Let that be your concern. Don't worry about the bullets that you're going to get. Don't worry about, hey, this general's coming in, I got to go make face, or this commander's coming, I got to go make face now, when you had no involvement the whole time. But you'll know because you see, I'm pretty sure you've had commanders and leaders who the difference when they have that involvement, and then the ones who don't.
Man, okay, so my best, let's see, think about this. He's number one for me. I'd say he's number one. Captain Dawson, man. That
shout out Captain Dawson.
Yeah. Oh man, he's legit. And you want to know why he's legit? Because he's a Mustang. So that is why he's legit, right? One of the main reasons why he's legit. I have not met, or I've met very few officers who were officer from the beginning to end, who were like legit strong, good people, not good people, but like strong leaders. The best leaders I've met were ones who were enlisted and then went over to officer and said, hey, I know what it's like to be on the other side.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to ask you to do something that I haven't done or I wouldn't do myself. As a matter of fact,
dude.
man, that dude, man, is so legit too. Like, you know, he's the guy, like he's really into lifting, and he's really into, you know, you know, shooting and doing all those army stuff. But like, he's not just really into it. It is what it is. And he's good at it. He knows his craft, if you will. He knows his stuff. And so we would go to the range. And, you know, there are some commanders who just are terrible at shooting. But not this guy. He's the guy who was like,
I'm going to go out there and teach you guys how this is done.
I'll teach you. He was like, I'll show you how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, I'll show you. But he's the guy who's like, I'm here to have fun. He's like, he's not afraid to like, nah, give me my freaking M4. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to freaking shoot. Of course I'm going to shoot. I'm here to shoot. I got my kit. I got my thing on. I'm going to go do what y'all are doing because I want to do it. And then the soldiers see him doing it and they're like,
oh, dude, it changes everything.
Man, well, if you know, if the commander's doing it,
the whole dynamic changes.
And they're like, then yeah, I'm going to do
There's so much power in that.
It went from people didn't want to go to the range because we were always going to the range to everyone would go to the range and they're like, yeah, Captain Dawson, we're going to the range. And he'd be like, you here going to the range? He's like, tell me about it. What are we doing? Who's running it? Who's this? Who's that? Great, cool. You got good people. Send the con up. I'm setting that up. How much rounds we got? And he'd be like, hey, I was the ammo guy at the time, and he was like, hey, we got X amount of rounds. I was like, hey sir, we're gonna go there with this amount of rounds, and guess what we're leaving with? 0. He's like, that's too easy. He said, less. We're gonna knock it out. He's like, I don't leave the range with rounds. Especially when the Army's paying for it.
Yeah.
Ammo's expensive. And you know what I mean? But like, he was just that guy. PT, there wasn't a day, right? There wasn't a day. And so he created this gym. We had a basement in Bragg, and in that basement, he created a gym, and the things in there, he paid for out of his pocket.
Oh, snap.
Most of the things in there, he paid for out of his pocket. And so like, we had this entire gym. We built platforms, or not we. Two of my buddies, Greg and Josh. Shout out Josh. Y'all know Josh from previous episodes of Mediocre Dads. Greg and Josh, they built these platforms, these deadlifting platforms, right? Like,
nice.
The commander supplied the stuff, the wood and everything, and my buddy Greg, he was like, got it and did whatever, built the platforms, drilled, hammered, did all the things. Got the stuff for the platforms, built it, and it had our logo and everything on it.
That's
built
awesome.
Those platforms, and then he would every morning we're lifting, and he blasts music. He's got his lifting shoes on. We're doing powerlifting stuff. He's doing his stuff. We're working out, and he's putting in the work and putting in the effort to lift and get strong and do whatever we need to do. And then there are soldiers who are just like, oh, I don't want to do PT, but you know, weak bodies. We don't care, right? But at the end of the day, those who are like, no, this is a guy who actually cares and who cares about the troops and cares about the soldiers. He was there. He showed up.
Yeah.
He showed up. And more people recognize that than none. And, you know, most time when you are a commander and your command time or KD time is complete, you go sit in S2. You know what they made him do? They put him in command of another position and another company. Because they saw that, like, yo, like, he's good at what he does.
Heck yeah.
And his troops and his people do what they want to do. They work for him. Because they want to follow him.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a leader, that means people follow you.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not a leader if people don't follow you. You're just a person who just stands alone. So,
you just exist.
Yeah.
That's it.
And he was awesome. Like I said, Captain Dawson, he's awesome. Because he was people, like, me and my friends said it several times. It's like, hey, sir, if you told us we were going to go to Ukraine and we need to go do some CI operations, I got you. We're good. I'm there. I'm there. I'm going with you.
Yeah, man.
What do you need? What do you need?
It's yeah, dude. That makes all the difference. It makes all the difference when you do have that commander who
wouldn't really actually do anything illegal. I was just saying that for effect. I have to be careful because YouTube is. You know, YouTube.
Yeah. But so yeah, no, definitely. If you're a leader out there or in a, like, you're in a superior position or supervisory position, both in any sector, you know, military or civilian, understand that your presence is definitely gonna make a difference, you know, And then, like you were saying, though, you cannot, and it's so important, and this happens all the time in the military when it comes to leaders or commanders who are making their way up the ranks, but never forget where you came from.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, that is like the biggest thing. Never forget where you came from, you know, and where you started, because you were that individual, you were that soldier at one point doing the same thing that you were passing out those orders to do.
Yeah.
So don't forget that. Like, and it's huge. And I feel like nowadays a lot of superiors are just forgetting where they came from. Like, you know, and it's like, dude, you know how this goes. How are you making these calls? You know, how are you making these calls when you know, like, you've done this?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to interject and tell you that this isn't going to work and here's why.
Yeah.
You should already know.
Yeah.
You know, and you'll know, okay, well, here's the solution. You know, here's the solution. And here's why too, because I used to do it. Like, I know, you know. So, but I mean, and it's not their fault too. You know, sometimes it's individuals who are put in charge who just have no experience, you
Talent
know.
management.
And so exactly. And then the next thing comes into talent management, you know. And now that's an issue I think that we're currently dealing with. And I'm starting to see it just throughout the military as a whole. But people are just putting names in positions because they have that rank or they have the time. Okay, put them there.
We need a body to fill a spot.
We need a body. And you're a body.
You're a warm body. So that means you're filling that spot.
Not even factoring, okay, what are they dealing with personally? What is their own career plan? What is their career progression like, or anything like that? They're not even having the conversation, you know, just, okay, here, go. And I don't know. I feel like we have evolved past that whole, not to reason why, but to do or die aspect. You know, obviously threats have adapted, times have changed, you know, obviously times have definitely changed, but there's no sense that, hey, leadership can also adapt, you know, leadership can adapt, you know, command and control can also adapt, you know, so let's play that game.
But what does that look like though? Like, because, you know, I was talking to one of the soldiers in your office, and part of the conversation we were having was that the leadership style that you and I came up in with during the military, words that we experienced coming up in the military when we joined was more of a what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Not mental toughness. Jeez, keep wording mental toughness. But it was like, hey, I'm going to push you and push you and push you and push you because you need to understand when the time comes, I may not always be there to push you. But when I'm not there, it's going to be ingrained into you to go, to do, and to do. Yeah, you're going
to know what right is.
Yeah, and you couldn't ask why because there was no time to ask why. Yeah. It was always go, go, go until I tell you not to, or until you reach a breaking point. You tell me you reach a breaking point, I was like, I got you. Let me help you. You know what I mean? That was more of what it was versus now. Everyone's able to ask why. Everyone's able to question what we're doing rather than saying, Roger.
Dude, I have an answer for that. And it's coming out of doctrine. And there's two words.
Oh, geez.
And it's coming out of doctrine. But I feel like this is something that leaders now, seniors all the way up to commanders, are tending to forget these two words. And that is shared understanding. It is a legit characteristic doctrinally, by doctrine, for leaders to learn and apply when it comes to their warfighting decision making. And shared understanding goes both ways. It really does. And that's how it applies. When you look up the definition, I don't know it off the top of my head, but I'm a firm believer in shared understanding.
It's a board question. You should know it.
It's not a board question. I wish it was, though. It should be.
Then what's the answer?
If I'm sitting on that board. No, but it It really is. And I think that if I'm sitting on that board, believe me, I'm asking that soldier who wants to be promoted, in your own words, what does shared understanding mean to you?
They don't know that.
They're not going to know. But I'm telling you though, with shared understanding as a leader, you are going to apply that purpose and direction. And also in that motivation, you're going to include, okay, here's the why though. Here's the purpose. Here's why I need you to go accomplish that task, but the reason why I know you can is because we have that shared understanding that I know your capabilities. I know what you're going through. I know what you've already accomplished. This is something right up your lane and you can do this. I know you can.
But sometimes that turns into just fluff because you need somebody to do something. And if you don't give that to them and you don't feed that ego, they're going to be like, well, you're just putting me on another BS thing.
No.
Well, not you, but some people are they mix that in with.
So that shared understanding, here's where it comes back though too. Understand, hey, the organization that you're in, understand that organization. That understanding, and this is why it's shared, because it's going both ways.
Yeah.
It really is. It's going both ways. So this is where, hey, here's why here's my understanding applied to you, and here's now where I'm asking for the understanding. I'm going to help you understand this way.
Yeah.
Understand that this has to be done, and here's why. You know, and here's why there's no. It's on you now. There's not going to be. Okay, I get it. You're like, oh, why? Why do I do this? Why? Okay, well, let me help you. We're going to get to a shared understanding. Yeah. Because that's my role. As your leader, I'm going to make sure you have that.
I kind of surmise that too, like the 5 W's, given the 5 W's. Yeah. So if I need someone to do something or I want somebody to do something, it's like, I'm going to give you the 5 W's. I may not be like, okay, who? It's you. What? It's the mission. Where? In the country. Why? I'm not going to break it down to you like that, but I'm going to get within that conversation. I'm going to give you the 5 W's. Yeah. And I'm going to say, hey, this is, who, what, when, where, why. And this is because I've given you all those, and I want you to fulfill this because I think you're best fit for this because of this. Yeah. Right. Now, we don't always have time as leaders to do that. No. It cannot be every single direction that I give that you do, that I have to do this whole explanation, right? Now, afterwards, when things come down, you said, hey, I noticed you gave this to me. I'm just kind of figuring out, like, I don't understand what was the end goal here, right? Great. Let me break it down to you, right? But we don't ever get to that point because people, for me at least, very few far in between where people ask questions like that. No,
you're right. But you see, within that list, though, that's not the only characteristic. So it's not like you're going to focus on that. That shared understanding also goes with 2 other things that are also in that same doctrine, the same book. Discipline, initiative, and trust. Yeah. So you need those. You need to rely on your soldiers to know the difference of an implied task and executing discipline, initiative. But also at the same time, they're not going to do that without trust. They know that without that trust from their superior and that relationship between the leader and who's being led, that if that trust factor is not there, then it's going to be like do. And what happens next? Like, here we go again. Oh, here he comes. Here comes Sergeant Wilcox walking in. This is what he does. I don't trust him, but I know he's just looking out for himself. We don't have no shared understanding with anything he gives us. I don't even know what to do as far as discipline initiative to satisfy. All I know is he tells me to do. And that's it.
Dang. You know what? You saying that makes me think of, I've had one individual on my mind for the last, truthfully for the last 2 days, but it's been a couple weeks that I've been thinking about this individual.
Oh snap!
I mean, we work with this individual at times. Okay. They work separately from us, but we work with this individual, and he is he's new to being a leader, and he's new to the Army, if you will. But that's what I'm finding out is all of them are new. You know?
Yep.
They're like, yeah, how long you having? 4 or 5 years. And I'm like, dope. I'm at 10, my guy. And I like, so like when I hear that, I'm like, we're not on the same page, but all right, cool. I'll try to get us there. But anyway, this individual, man, he's a good dude, right? And he's eager to learn. Mm-hmm. But he also has his own beliefs. And I'm not here to say like, I'm here to interfere with those or impede on those and say mine are superior to his, but he has his own beliefs and his own style of way of how he thinks or what he thinks leadership is. And I'm okay with that to an extent, meaning, however, there are things you haven't experienced. You don't have enough experience to understand why those ideas and those beliefs don't actually mesh. Right. And I could be totally wrong for saying that, because also we come from a different time era, if you will, of soldiers and soldiering. So like, sure, it may work, but like at times when I'm dealing with him, it's like, hey man, you were told to do something, right? And I just need you to execute. And out of all people, I don't expect this from you all the time. Like sometimes, sure, hold me accountable, have a conversation with me. But when it's every time, then I'm just like, man, I might as well treat you like one of the Joes. You're a non-commissioned officer, man. I expect you to operate with some, some sense, right?
Some discipline initiative.
Yeah, like I can't hold your hand, and I can't be there and I know you don't want, that individual doesn't want me there holding their hand all the time, right? And it's not required, but at times it's like, hey, for the most part, you're left alone. You're allowed to do with your section with what you want to do with your section. However, I have been given the authority over your section and another section, and I don't have the many issues with the other section, because I know and I trust and understand that the individual running that other section, one, he's a sergeant first class, so I can't do anything about that. Two,
I know who you're talking about now.
I can try. I'm pretty obvious about it. But two, the other individual has more experience than I do, and knows what is expected of him, right? And so, like, when this younger guy, I'm like, hey man, listen, first sergeant needs the following. The first thing out of his mouth, 9 times out of 10, is a reason why he can't, or why he shouldn't have to, or whatever the case might be. And I'm like, my guy. I get it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, all I need is a Roger. Because I can have, there are fights I'm willing to have. But I'm sorry, I'm not willing to go have that fight for you, because it's absurd.
Yeah, man.
Right?
He's got to take that ownership of that role and the responsibilities.
I'm asking for counseling, and you're telling me why you can't do A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Man.
No, bro, listen, I don't care. Get it done.
Yeah.
Why did it take? And this is the difference between the comms, if you will, force comm versus INSCOM.
Yeah.
Right. That individual was told to have a soldier go set up TAP, and I didn't let that leader know, hey, tell that soldier to go do the following. 2 weeks go by. Has that soldier signed up? No, they're trying to do this. That's not what I asked you. All right. One, that's not what I asked you. Two, you were told 2 weeks ago to have them get this done. And then when I come talk to you, you're like, well, they don't know. They don't have a number. They don't know where to go. My guy, Google. What are you talking about?
For real, dude.
Google.
Discipline initiative.
Oh my gosh. Like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I know it's surprising. All right. Like, we in the military, we know more things. But like, I promise, Google is our friend just like every other person's friend out there in the world. Google it, and it comes up. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I have the answer right in front of me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Google it. What do you mean? Why do I have to Google the number to send it to you when you could Google the same thing I can?
Yeah, man.
You have a computer in your pocket. You have a computer in your face, and you can't Google.
So let me ask you, as the superior in this role, how do you go on and engage this?
I don't know. I'm yesterday was kind of like my not a breaking point, but I broke a little bit. Where I just kind of, they may not know it, but I broke a little bit, and so I just kind of I stopped explaining myself. I will give no more explanation. I will send a message. I'll give a call. I'll say this needs to be done, and I won't entertain anything else. I'll say, hey man, this is what you were tasked to do.
Yeah.
I need you to get it done by this time, and that's the end of the conversation, right? Because this happened yesterday. I said, hey, First Arnie needs to talk to you. He told me to let you know he needs to talk to you, so you need to stop by in the first thing in the morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
His response to me was, can you text me or can you call me? Who the fuck do you think you are? Who the fuck do you think you are? And like, I'm sorry, forgive my language. And I'm sorry. Like, I get very upset when I'm like, when someone who hasn't worked as hard, doesn't have the experience, hasn't done as much, says and their boss says to them, hey, I need you to come see me. And they say, can they call me or text me? I'm sorry. They don't owe you anything.
Yeah. And
also, you work for them.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Can they? What?
Dude.
And I didn't respond for like 45 minutes because I didn't know what to say.
Start pushing.
Well, because part of me wanted it was like, okay.
I'd say, hey, dude, come back. Come see me tomorrow, but bring water. Bring some water.
Well, part of me was sat there and I thought to myself, I was doing dishes yesterday and I don't usually do dishes. So this is how I was upset. And I think my wife could tell. I was doing dishes and I was kind of in my own world. And I was thinking to myself, okay.
Wait, do you guys have a dishwasher?
Mm-hmm. Do you not have a dishwasher?
Yeah. So when someone says they're doing dishes, I'm thinking like they're there with, sponge, sink water, soap.
Pause. Ceasefire. Freeze.
Yo,
let's get back to this.
That's what I'm thinking.
Are you telling me?
But doing dishes and loading a dishwasher, that's two different things.
You eat chicken wings, barbecue chicken wings on a plate, and then you throw those chicken wings away, and you put that plate in the dishwasher.
I rinse it real quick. I'll rinse it off and then put it in the dishwasher.
Do you use soap?
No, there's soap in the dishwasher.
Oh my gosh! Oh
there's
my
soap
goodness!
In the dishwasher.
You're that guy.
There's soap in
that guy.
There's literally dishwashing soap.
Oh my goodness! You
oh my goodness!
You tell me. You just put some water on that thing. And you say, "Dishwasher, do your magic."
Oh, dude, dude!
All right,
guys, comment down below. Comment down below. Which method do you guys use? Which method do you guys use?
Oh my gosh! You wash
the dishes. It is clean.
You wash it
because it was washed with soap.
You wash it and then you put it in the dishwasher, and the dishwasher does the rest. It's almost like the dishwasher sanitizes it. But when I say you wash it
with really hot, steaming temperature,
I get a sponge. I get some soap, and I wash the plate. And I get all the hard stuff off of it and make.
Yeah, I make sure same thing.
So I'll put it this way: I basically hand wash these things and then put them in the dishwasher. Put them in the dishwasher, and the dishwasher cleans them even better.
So double lines of effort for one simple task.
Sure, but then I have clean dishes.
Yeah, I got clean dishes too.
I don't trust that anymore.
Bro, wow, dude, that's
okay. So I'm gonna put it this way. If I come over,
comment down below, guys. Which method do you prefer?
When I come over and we're watching the game.
That's right. Which, by the way, when are you going to do that? Seriously,
watch the game or come over?
everyone around me is like, dude, you need to stop sending him invites and stop saving plates because he's never going to show up. I literally put plates aside and I'm like, dude, hey guys, don't touch that. Like the other day we ran out of food and I'm like, I put a plate aside in the microwave and I'm like, hey, there's food here. Hey, don't worry, don't touch that. He might show up.
That's craziness.
Listen, yeah, but the kids are hungry. No, they can starve. They're fine.
I don't.
The kids don't need to eat. That's for Q and his family. I put food aside.
Listen, for them. So
Eventually, they're going to show up. I know they're going to show up.
Well, that's a conversation for after. But yeah, no, because it's not me. It's
okay.
Yeah. So
we'll find out. I hope they're listening. The right appropriate people are listening.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've told you before, like, you know, it was hard because, you know, built that trust. And then next thing you know, they're like, pull the rug right from under you. So that for them, that's like a big deal. Right. For us who I saw this thing on social media, and it was like the military has taught you how to take some of the biggest L's in your life and just move on. Right.
It's true.
And so, like, for me, I can take an L. I've taken several L's this week, and I just, you know what I do? I go to sleep. I wake up in the morning. I'm like, listen, I'm trying to get some dubs, but if I take another L, it is what it is.
Yeah, man.
Nothing I can do about it, right? But for them who are not initiated, right? they take L's and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't understand. My life's over. What is going on, right? And so, like, it's different. And so that's one of the biggest parts. It's like I don't want friends, but I don't want to take L's. And I'm like, oh, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it comes with that.
Yeah.
So that's that part. But trust me, you send invites and I'm like, hey, you want to go do this thing? Oh, I won't go into that anymore.
Damn. Yeah. So what you're saying is essentially it's one person that's saying, hey.
Yeah. Dang. Listen.
So how do I establish rapport with the other person?
The last 3 invites, I've been like, "Hey, let's go."
Yeah.
And then but also,
next, do I have to like start sending pictures of like the food that's put aside? Because I'll do that too.
Leaving food aside?
Yeah, man. Oh my god, dude. Hey, don't touch what's in the oven. They're like, dude, there's a lot of food and the kids are hungry. Everything's gone. I'm like, no, he might show up. I'll make sure they're taken care of.
So. Also, we didn't know there were other kids here. So
yeah, dude. I
mean, it's like, so like, this is not to like
a lot of my friends have kids, and
well, I mean, I know you have a son, but like, you know, but like I have kids, so like if we came over, it's just my 2 daughters. They're like, what are they gonna do?
Oh, there's other kids here.
So that's okay.
Trust me.
So okay, then that's another selling point that I need to definitely sell because I didn't know that.
It helps when you respond and reply and ask those questions because you'll probably get those answers right then and there.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm hesitant to respond because if I respond, then because then
if it's a no, you can just say no.
It's funny because I told my wife, I was like, I don't like responding no because I'm like, he's invited me often, and then every time he asked me to come over, I'm like, not gonna work, bro. And then next thing I know, he's like, hey, you want to record? I'm like, on my way. And I'm like, I feel like an asshole. I was like, I feel like an asshole.
Luckily, I'm not that type of guy. So I don't think too much into it.
Babe, I love you. You know, I know I'm talking about you. I love you. But like,
oh, he's talking about you.
But like, you know, like,
what do I got to do to build rapport with you? All right.
Come over.
Come over.
Let's hang out.
Come hang out.
Like you could see the room and understand that this wall over here,
everything,
this wall, that wall right there, we can watch the game. I don't. She don't care about the game, but anyway, I will make them put on the Wiggles for the kids, and they can
the Wiggles downstairs.
No, right here for 5 minutes, and then
there you go. That's true.
Shoot, go away.
Okay,
the game's on.
We can do that too.
But the game's on, right? I think it's probably over now.
It's the Giants in San Fran.
No, not Giants. Is it Giants?
Yeah, Giants in San Fran, bro.
Oh,
where your Thursday night football, bro?
I'm not gonna lie to you,
bro.
The game.
All I know is my team's still undefeated.
So is mine. I don't know the Dolphins.
Miami, baby.
Yeah, who have they played?
All the good teams.
That's craziness.
Yeah.
So the Giants.
No, the Patriots. And damn.
And the Giants.
Oh, the Chargers. Patriots and the Chargers.
Oh, they beat the Chargers.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I will give them that. I did remember that because Nick Bosa was pissed.
Bro, he was pissed. And it was a season opener too.
Yeah, he was pissed. Was it in Miami?
No, it was in LA.
Oh wow, that's a good game.
Yeah,
that's a good game. Hey, your quarterback's still standing.
Let's go.
He's still standing up.
That's right, man.
He can throw a football.
That's right. That's crazy. He's taken care of.
Listen, the Saints are 2-0. And by the skin of our teeth.
Who do they got this week? They got someone good?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie though. They got their quarterback starting to show up.
Who? Ours?
Carr.
Yeah. Carr. Well, you see the game on Monday?
Dude, nobody really watches the Saints, man. I'll be real.
It was the first game on Monday Night Football. What are you talking about?
No, it was the Cowboys.
No, well, not the very first Monday Night Football. I'm talking like this past Monday. It was the very first game.
Oh, okay.
It was the first game that was on.
And that's crazy. No one really tuned into that. I think people were watching like Logan Paul or something.
I definitely did. That's great. Okay. All right. I haven't seen a single Miami game, but it's terrible because I don't know.
Oh, don't worry. You will.
Well, what are you talking about?
You will. Everybody will.
Green Bay. Oh, we play Green Bay. Oh, dang. It's Jordan Love, though.
Dude, easy freaking game. Really?
Oh, you know what it is? Green Bay, then Tampa Bay, and then...
Oh, wow. 2 back-to-back easy games. Those are easy wins. You guys are about to be 4-0. You have opportunity to be 4-0.
Listen, you're right, but we almost lost the last game to the Panthers.
Damn.
But you know, here's the thing. It's the Panthers. They show up the first 6 games, and then they're just like, right, the rest of the season, and that's why they end up at the bottom of the NFC South every year. By the way, I'm going to clip this part because there's an individual out there.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Needs to know this.
I know who you're talking about.
The Panthers at the bottom of the NFC South.
Maybe one day he'll come on here
every season. I don't want. He's just going to make fun of me.
He should totally come on here. He's just
going to make fun of me the entire time.
He should totally. We should see about getting him on here.
He would be great, right there. But he would make fun of me the entire time.
I
mean, he makes fun of everybody, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely makes me feel like a kid. Not like a kid in this, like.
I'll tell you what, no, in all honesty, man, I would love to get someone in that level and ask him the same questions I'm asking you in the realm of leadership and get that perspective.
Well, he's a no bullshit type of guy.
I know. That's what I like.
And that's what I respect the most about him. He's like, he's no bullshit. And he'll tell you how it is.
And straight, like, off the record comments, you know?
Yeah, like, it's almost, you know, those people that.
It's different when you got uniform on.
Yeah, but, like, he's like, it's like the person he's in uniform is the person he's outside of uniform. They don't separate. And not in a bad way, right? And those people are hard to come by because you're like, gosh, dang, that is, yes. Yes.
I'm going to see if I can set something
because that is because he was talking about the officers in his office and he was like, you know,
yeah.
he made a passive aggressive sarcastic comment in front of all of them and it made them, and he let them know, put them on blast, like, hey guys, you guys don't do anything. You don't do anything. And you sit here and you collect this check. And he's like, the Army's really paying winners right now, right? And it's just like, you're just like, they're just like, oh, yeah, I guess we should feel like shit. Yeah, you should. You should.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, like, he's an awesome person. Like,
hell yeah. I know there's a few, get him on here.
I know there's a few people who are like, he's not my cup of tea. But I'm like, nah, he's the person that I'm like, yes, we need more people like him.
Yeah. We're going to try to get him on here.
So. But anyway, yeah, Panthers, they play for like 6 games and then they're just like, you know, they go on a off season. They're not off season. They go on a bye week and they come back and they're like, we don't know how to play football. They pay us $1 million we don't know how to play football anymore. And so their quarterback is not going to last. I'm sorry. Is it Bryce Young? Great young man. Can throw the ball, but unfortunately he doesn't have the wide receivers to get the ball to.
His offense is struggling.
Yes, but also, so we almost lost. Saints almost lost. And the Saints, the problem is our secondary is hit or miss, and it's embarrassing. And also, sometimes.
Do you guys got Miami this year? I think you do.
Yes, I think we do.
I think you guys do got Miami this year.
I
know we got the Cowboys.
I think it's like week 8 or week 9.
We got the Cowboys on Christmas Eve.
Do you really?
Yeah. That hasn't happened in like 11 years.
I'm going to tell you like this, though. If you guys are losing or are 500 and below, I'm not watching that game.
Dude, we're already on a 2-game win streak.
Oh, my gosh. And how many games are in the season?
Yeah, but we got
no.
We're 2-0.
Don't skip over what I asked.
I'm just saying we're 2-0, dude.
Okay,
I live in the present.
So do I. But I'm just saying, how many games are in the season? It's 18 games, right? No, 17.
Is it 17? I think it's 17.
I think that went to 18. Well, I think is it 18 including like playoffs and like Super Bowl?
No, I think 17 for regular season.
Oh, okay, yeah. But like,
17 weeks.
There's a lot of there's a lot of games between now and then, and I'm telling you right now,
yeah,
like Carolina, Miami tends to do this thing where they're like, we're riding this high, and then next thing you know,
no.
Oh my gosh, I stubbed my toe, which also caused me to sprain my shin, and then I tore my MCL. Who am I talking about? Yeah, your quarterback.
Yo,
my pinky hurts. Oh my gosh!
Hey, how about you worry about that NCO? All right, you worry about that NCO. All right, how about that? Stop worrying about my quarterback.
Nah, man, it's easy to worry about people I have no impact on. They make millions of dollars, and I get to judge them.
To go back though, dude. One thing best advice I ever got from a very well endowed commander I ever served with, man, is he used to have a saying: "The doer does what the checker checks." Yeah, and it's so true. And that is kind of how I would handle that situation, man. And a lot of it does come from the accountability piece from those hires. It really is, man. And that doer's going to do what the checker's going to check. And if they know they're not checking, that's when you're going to get responses like that. So it's on, trust me, if you were to get a first, like if you were to send that text and the first sergeant had a whole different perception, a whole different, like different personality, different everything, you probably would have got a different response. Yes. I guarantee it. Because if the level of accountability was there and that presence and the combination of it all, I guarantee you when you put out that word, it's like, oh shit, okay, what time does he need me there? I'm gonna be there. Like I could be there at this time. Will he be there? Yeah. You're gonna get something. You're gonna get something.
It's that level
when I hear a response like the one you got, that tells me like, okay, so there's something lacking there. There's a lack of presence.
It's a level of comfortability.
Yeah. There's definitely a lackadaisical approach of leadership and accountability from a certain echelon, and it's compromised. So it needs to be reestablished.
Yeah, because I definitely like I thought about like I was like I can be an asshole.
No, you can, but see, if you don't have that top cover, like it has to trickle down.
Yeah.
Seniors all the way down to team leaders, platoon sergeants, squad leaders, like I mean all the way down, and it will trickle down. But when it's only at the middle and then up higher, gets all relaxed, no accountability. Hey, I'm here just like you. We're all here. Good. What do you need? All right, let's figure this out. Okay. But then right underneath it's like, yo, bro,
hard charger.
Here's the task. Here's the purpose. Here's the motivation. This is what I need. All right, let's rock and roll. And then right below that, hey, I got this. Hey, we're a team. Hey, well, what do we need? Hey, I got this. I got an appointment. Hey, you know what? We'll figure something out. Just text me. We'll figure that out. So then who's the one in the middle? But I guarantee if it was from the top, it's going to trickle down to the point where it's like, oh, dude, team leader said this. I got to get it done. Oh, dude, squad leader said this. Told the team leader said that, oh, I got to get it done. Platoon sergeant said this, squad leader's doing this, team leader said, okay, boom, I got to get it done.
You know what's funny? That by you saying that makes me think of the platoon you're with now. You see what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And because I'm like the middleman is the hard charger, and then in between is just kind of like.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna see some changes come Monday. I trust me.
You're back.
You at least temporarily, but you're gonna see. You're gonna start to see some changes.
I mean, I hope. Start to see some changes. I saw changes from the previous one, but like. Yeah. But so, being real about it, I don't think that was a good thing that was gonna last for too much longer. Man.
Yeah. The only thing is, I hope it's like you said, like I told you before, and we agreed with earlier, but like in the end, your resume is who you led. Mm-hmm. Like that's it, and that reflection that you're leaving behind, and hoping that out of all the individuals, as long as a few bit, and are executing and driving off of that mentorship, and they're taking that mentorship and they're taking that ownership, and they're gonna rock and roll. Well, you know what? I'll be happy. Yeah. I'll be happy because I know that those hard chargers, they're deserving and they want it.
Yeah,
and that's all they need was just that mentorship.
I really do want people to. I don't want to be liked or no. How do I put this? I don't mind being liked. Being liked is great. Most people want to be liked, but like, I would just
like and subscribe, please.
There we go. That's what I was trying to say. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell.
Show me that I'm liked. Show us that we're liked.
Love me.
I'm kidding.
But no, I guess I'm at the point in my life where I want to be respected, and if I'm given that respect, right, because I earned it,
yeah.
Then ultimately I like to give people respect anyway. But like, given that respect, I genuinely want to help people. That's who I am. I want to help people, but with that, you have to be respectful, and then you also have to want to help yourself.
Yeah.
I cannot be the only one doing things to help you. You have to be doing things to help yourself as well.
No, it's super true.
And but like, I was saying this the other day, a lot of people don't want to help themselves.
No, that's it. And you can only go so far though. Like, you can only guide, mentor, so far before it's like, dude, you got to start swimming here, man. I can't take that. Like, at some point you got to take ownership and take accountability of yourself and start rocking and rolling, because we can't be riding this the whole way. I'm not going to be around forever. I'm not going to, I got other troopers I got to worry about. I got other stuff. Like, at some point, man, you got to pick up the reins, dude.
But how long do you take in water before you're like, hey man, I'm drowning, you're going to have to take in this water?
A lot of it's going to have to be, I would say a lot of it has to be done by example. Like, they got to see that hard charger. They got to see that drive in you as well. Like, they got to see it, and you got to, hey, show it, mentor, reflect, and make sure that they're seeing that, and have those sit downs and be like, yo, hey, here's what you did good, and here's what you need to fix, and here's how you can fix it. But it's on you, man. It's on you. Like, it's on you, because in life, it's going to be you. The Army's not going to be here forever. In the end, we all got to hang up the uniform in the end. And that, even no matter how long you think you're going to be in. And guess what? Real life is real. And all we're losing is time. All we're losing is time.
Scary. Real life is scary.
It is. And you know what? What you do now, you're gaining those tools. You're gaining these characteristics. You're gaining these behaviors. You're learning how to task manage. You're learning how to lead. You're learning how to do everything, But what you do with those tools, it's on you, man. It really is on you, because guess what? You're going to have setbacks, both in the military and in life, but what you do after those setbacks and how you look at those setbacks, that's going to make you who you are.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you how I can encourage you here. I'll tell you what, you want to know when you engage that setback, here's how you should engage it. Identify it as not just a setback, but identify it as an opportunity and the setup for a comeback.
Yeah.
Take it like that. My setback is now a setup for a comeback, and like David Goggins always says, hey, kill him with success, not kindness. Yeah, let's go.
Look, dude,
no, but it is true, man. It is true. And a lot of it goes back to, like, one, you have to be that example though. Like, you have to show them, because in the end, if you guys are embracing, they see you're going through the same task, the same everything. You're doing it too, but you're doing it from a leadership perspective, and you're also present for when you're being present, and all the different facets that focuses on. But at the same time, they got to see that. Yeah. Because if they're not going to see it, then it's just word of mouth, dude.
Man,
You're doing good though, man. You're doing good. Don't worry. Keep your head up.
People keep saying that. I'm
Keep
like,
your
I
head
don't
up.
think I am. I'm over here. I feel like I'm drowning right
Cobra
now.
of the quarter, guys.
I know.
Next episode, we're gonna talk about how he got Cobra of the quarter.
You know that episode where they just, or I say episode, but episode of the show where they just have a straw and they're below water and that's what they're breathing through? That's what I'm feeling. I'm breathing through right now.
Dude, that's not good. What's wrong?
This place?
Dude, it's temporary. Don't let it get to you.
I know it's temporary, but I care.
And you can care. There's nothing wrong with being passionate and taking ownership of your job. But at the same time, dude, you clock in and you clock out. You gotta turn it on, turn it off.
I wish.
No, you can, dude. You can.
I haven't figured that out yet. But
you can.
maybe that's why I want to go to OCS.
You can. Oh, dude.
That's why
We're gonna edit that out.
Why?
We're gonna edit that out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I want to go to OCS, and
I'm kidding.
I'm that much more closer. I told my wife about what the college sent me, and I was like, "Look, that's 4 classes, and I got the BA, and then here's that packet." Like that's it. It's a done deal.
No, it's good, dude. That's good.
Now they just got to, obviously, I got to get there, and then they got to accept me, but one step at a time.
There you go. It's too easy.
So, but that's all I got, man.
That's all I got too, man. Hey, let's go ahead and wrap things up, guys. Hey, thank you all for tuning in. It was fun.
Yes.
I hope another episode in the book, guys. As you know, hey, Mediocre Dads, my partner over here, man. Links all down below. Please show them some love, show some support, guys. And and by all means, comment. Don't hesitate. Comment down below on anything or any answers or responses towards anything or any topics that we discussed this evening, or even what method you prefer to wash your dishes. Do you wash your dishes before the dishwasher, or do you just rinse them and put them in the dishwasher?
I think, like most Americans,
down below, please.
They do it my way. But that's just me. Hey, like I said, mediocre dads, being mediocre is a choice, refuse to be mediocre.
Let's go. Find your comfort in chaos, team. All right. Have a good day. Out.